Hello and welcome to this week's look at our quant indicators at Biyond. So before I get going, I'm just going to read through a brief disclaimer. Please feel free to read along as well. Beyond Trader LLC is strictly a research publishing firm. The information we publish is based on our opinions, but our quantitative models, statistical and financial data, and independent research. This service is not registered with any financial regulatory agency such as the SEC or any other organization or governmental body. By using our platform or our services, you acknowledge that we do not provide personalized recommendation or advice. Alternative asset classes are volatile investments and carry significant risk. Please do your own research before making any financial decisions. Okay, so let's get straight to it and have a look at what's going on with our key indicators at the moment. So as you can see from the front of our website, we always put the indicators on there. And give you a brief snapshot of what's going on. So I'm going to touch more on Beyond Atlas in a moment. However, there's lots of interesting things going on there. And we've started to see this turning lower over the last few days. As you know, it's an inverse indicator. So what we ideally want to see is Atlas turning lower, and that means that the price should be moving higher. So this is a really good sign going into next week. If I just briefly summarize the other indicators before I spend a little bit more time with Atlas. So Beyond Vanguard, last week we closed the week in red. This week, according to our Vanguard 2.0 model on TradingView, we're probably set to close the week in orange. Of course, that can change. I expect if we move above something like 116 or 117, maybe we'll close the week in blue, but it doesn't currently look like that. Something else important that I want to talk about is Beyond Challenger. As you know, Beyond Challenger is our indicator that's basically looking for reversals in the market. And the higher the time frame, probably the more accurate and the more price movement you're going to see. So in a couple of days, Challenger is set to issue a sell signal, I guess, which basically gives Bitcoin a couple of days to run higher. I think it's very important because the last time we saw a strong sell signal on Challenger, Bitcoin was around about 124,000, and obviously we got the big drop off from there. So these daily sell signals are significant, and I guess it's going to probably align quite well with the 12-hour, which makes it doubly powerful, and also the 6 hours coming up as well, which obviously won't align perfectly, but it won't be too far off. So there's a strong message here in Challenger that what happens in the next couple of days is going to be quite significant, and how high Bitcoin gets is going to be very important, because if we start to sell off from current levels, that means that we are going to risk going back down to potentially 108, 107, and that's the danger zone for Bitcoin. So ideally in the next few days, we want to see Bitcoin firmly anchored above the 116 to 117 area, and that could cushion the potential sell signal that's coming out. So these are key points going into next week. If we move on to Beyond Atlas and we have a look at what's going on there. So as you can see, over the last few weeks and months, Atlas has been steadily moving higher and quite significantly, and it's moved into the deep red zone, which means that Bitcoin is starting to reach very oversold territory. The fact that we've started to turn down is great news. It means that money is flowing back into Bitcoin, and it also means that bearish momentum is waning. However, as you can see from previous examples, we don't really get the big upward movement until we fully exit the red zone. Obviously, the different shades is giving you the different levels of how overbought it is, or oversold. Obviously, oversold red, overbought green, but we can see we haven't currently fully exited the red zone, so there's still a bit of caution. And also note the previous behavior during the trade tensions in April and March. We could see that even though we started to turn lower in Atlas and we got a lower high, we still got another big low coming in there. So that's something significant with the price of Bitcoin, in that we could get, unfortunately, another new low coming in if we don't start to move very much higher in the next couple of days. But it's certainly encouraging that we're seeing a move down. The other thing that I want to point out before I leave you is that the positionings data, which manages the traders with the highest margin balance, they're currently positioned extremely negatively towards Bitcoin. Now, these guys are normally quite price accurate and price sensitive. The fact that they don't believe this move higher in Bitcoin is very telling. So I'd like to see this change over the next day or so. Otherwise, there is a big risk, according to these guys, of a sell-off back towards the lows. So an important couple of days ahead for Bitcoin. And as always, check out our website to see what our indicators are doing. And yeah, let's hope this sell signal doesn't get too nasty and Bitcoin can make some progress in the next few days. So yeah, thank you very much, and I'll see you again next week.